Hello and welcome to Anything Goes. I hope everybody's doing all right out there tonight. It's been a while. It's been
It
a while
has.
since me and V have got together and done an Anything Goes.
I know. Well, unfortunately, I can only avoid you for so long. You know, you
It's
bring me back
awkward,
in.
isn't it? It's awkward.
Well, I was like, I think you were sick one week, then I was sick one week, and then I went on my vacation where I was off for 2 Sundays, and so now we're here. But the world kept turning while we were out and about, and we're here now, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. We're here, we're reunited, and yeah, it's great. Hello to everybody in the chat. I should say hello. Should we say hello? Mike Kirkpatrick,
Hello.
how are you doing? Not seen you for a while. Sandra Piper, hello. Derek, how are you doing? Oh, Gary Spikes Senior, hello, Pops. Rex Hand. If I've missed anyone, hello to everybody. I don't feel like I've checked in with you guys for quite a while, but I do read your comments and I do see what's going on. And I do see people have stuff going on in their lives, and I hope everyone is getting through them. These people have struggles, and Jason, your son, has been through quite a big
Yeah.
deal for
Yes.
a little boy.
Yeah.
Not going to be, but he's a young lad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Young is probably the best way to say it. He's over 6 foot now, so
Yeah, but
yeah, young is probably the best way to say it.
yeah, that's tall. That's
He
tall.
is.
But tell us what's been happening with you.
So, sort of the easiest way to look at it is I got 3 kids. My youngest is Nathan. He's turning 13 at the end of the month. I've been very public about this, so it's no big deal to talk about it. But he has Marfan syndrome, and basically the best way to think of it is it's a random mutation that promotes growth, but instead of it being proportional, it's like elongated. Like he's only supposed to be 5'11", but he's being stretched out to he may end up being 6.5 or almost 7 foot tall by the time he's done. They said he's 12 right now, almost 13. He's over 6 foot. He's right at 6 foot tall now. Very, very thin, very lean. His proportions are even a little bit different. Like people who have Marfan's, there's a belief that Michael Phelps, the swimmer, has it because of the arm length. Basically, if you were to put your hands all the way out, if you were to look, you're basically about as tall. Your arms are as wide as you are tall. Theirs are actually longer. That's one of the things they used to say. Okay, it's Marfan's. So it has other symptoms, things we've been working with. He's been taking medications for a long time to help control the size, the growth of his heart, protect his eyes, things like that. And so far, everything's worked out well. But there were other malformations due to the, sort of a side effect of it. One was that his left foot was sort of skewed in. We fixed that with braces and stuff. No big deal. But his chest, he had an impectus that went in very, very far. And so we've known for years that they were going to end up having to fix that or insert these rods to push it out. But we weren't certain when. And what they're trying to do is catch it just before sort of that last big growth spurt. We were sort of hoping that maybe his chest wouldn't go in enough to affect his lungs and heart. But we looked at it and they were already starting to obstruct that. So we had to go ahead and go with it. And that decision was made over a year ago. So we've been preparing for it. And so he finally had his surgery on Friday morning. And they had 2 different bars inserted because his chest was so oddly shaped. But even by the end of that day, he had passed all of their tests for basically going home, all things he wanted to see. But they're like, no, we're gonna keep him one night because they originally planned for 2 or 3 nights for recovery. But he did so well. They're like, we could release him now, but we want a full 24 hours, make certain nothing else is. Yeah. So we brought him home yesterday afternoon, and he's doing very, very well. He is. He can't bend at the waist for like 8 weeks. He can't lift his arms, like his elbows can't go anywhere above his shoulders. He can't lift anything more than a pound. Like he's got a lot of restrictions on him. So we're trying to keep him. I'd like for him to stay in one spot longer than he is, but he's like, no, I'm going to go around and do things. And I'm like, no, you're not. So aside from that particular fight, I mean, he's still on a lot of drugs. He really is in pain, but they've given him a lot of medications for that we're trying to monitor properly.
Mm.
So we're, watching the clocks and writing everything down. And so that's the next 8 weeks.
Yeah. This is the hardest bit now, isn't it? Resting and doing what you're told is not an easy thing to do when, especially 12 years old. Fidget bum. You're just not going to sit down here. So I hope I'm sure he'll get through it with you guys. But yeah, the recovery is the one, isn't it? I'll show a picture here that you sent.
Yeah.
So there's the difference in the chest.
Yeah. So the one on the top, or I guess it's on the right-hand side of the screen, that's basically the before image. My allergies are killing me. And so the one is after. So you can see, I mean, there's almost a little bit over, maybe 2.25 inches of difference there.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that in 3 years, when they remove it, it'll basically stay that way and will have grown out. So essentially the solar plexus, which is where, the very bottom of where your chest is, where your chest meets with your sternum, there's this, it's called the xiphoid complex. It's like a little diamond shaped bone. That's what you strike in, martial arts. So his basically just went all the way in. It was actually essentially growing inwards. They're trying to push it outwards so that once that bar is removed, and like I said, by the time he's 16, 17, and they remove them, his chest will naturally go out. But there's some things we have to consider, like now, like he can't have a MRI, like he can do a CAT scan, but not an MRI because of the magnets. And even the CAT scan, they're like, it won't be very useful because the metal will actually refract things. Yeah. CPR is actually going to be harder for him now because those metal bars would actually sort of prevent the compression.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's a lot of things to remember, and that's his life for the next 3 years. But we just got to get through the next 8 weeks first, which is allowing him to, everything to properly heal up so he can go back to doing things. Because the real fear is that the bars will flip out, and then he'll have to go through the whole thing again.
Right. So it's important that he just rests. Thanks, Mike Adventures. Appreciate that. I mean, there's risks with everybody, isn't there? We all have a risk somehow or another, and some seem more obvious than others. But I wish him a good recovery, and he's young as well, so he's got that on his side as well, hasn't he? To healing and stuff like that. So I just saw Kerry mention before how tall his son was. My oldest is 6'7".
Oh wow!
5 at 15. That's tall, isn't it?
That is tall.
Like neck ache.
Yeah.
If you're short in the family and all the family are tall, you'd be getting that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, my daughter's like 5'5", so she's the middle one, but she's the smallest. She takes very much after my mother in a lot of ways. Her namesake. So we call her fun size, and she hates it. But she, compared to her brothers, she is just small. Yeah, but she's she's a nice height for, like I said, she takes very much after my mother, in a lot of ways. But like I said, the youngest, he just kind of went his own way in a lot of ways. So this is just one of them.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I hope he does all right. I'm sure he will. I was just trying to get up my results, if you remember.
Yes.
I did DNA test, and I thought it was going to come back that week, didn't I? I was like, yeah, I'll get it back on Sunday. It was like 12 weeks later. They kept emailing me, we're just on the next process and we're just shaking it up now and separating the things and all this, and eventually I got it. So I did say I would share it with everyone. I actually got it a couple of weeks ago, but you were off, and I said I'd do it on here to everyone, didn't I? So let's have a look.
You are a lady of your word, and I wanted this to come back as British.
I know you did.
Mm-hmm.
I know you did. And I'm sorry to disappoint, but as you can see there, so obviously 50% after my dad, Sicilian.
That's pretty spot on.
That's like 100%, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
50% of my dad. But look at my mum's side. It's like a total mix of
Well, but it makes sense. You said your mom was it was Polish, right?
Polish. Yeah, she was born in Belarus.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's
that's
what you expect.
Under these, yeah. Oh, have I just messed it up there? I don't know how I got back. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, a bit of French. Germanic Europe. What's Germanic Europe?
Okay, so see this. Okay, so this is where like the 5% stuff. Like basically, you're the Baltic. The Baltic region. You're French. You're German. Okay, so
Right.
Germanic Europe. The problem is
Yeah,
the Germanic peoples have again the German speaking peoples have sort of a broader range. And so you're basically the ones that are more on the European side than say the Russian side, or even the southern side. It's a very specific part, but it's what we would call modern day Germany. But yeah, think about it. Look, because you've got the big map, right? You got Poland right there. You've got Germany, and again, Germany and France. You know, they were at war. I mean, basically forever. All of Europe was at war forever. So I mean, the idea that your Polish ancestry would have German and French, and the Baltic regions are right there below. You know, I mean, that all makes perfect sense. It's all one big melting pot of area.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was interesting though. Definitely interesting to see, just to know a little bit, you know, about my family, and to find that there was no. I've always said I'm not English.
Yeah.
And
well, ironically, that may just be the most English thing of you, because England, again, with the exception of the Celts, Britain is in many ways like America, where it's a melting pot of different cultures that came over into it. So, with the exception of the Celts, you know, everyone basically comes from somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely, and I like that, because there is, you know, how would we know stuff if we didn't have those mixes? You know, different things, rather, if we didn't have those mixes in families and things like that. And I think everyone should do it and find out. I've got family in America from a long time ago on my dad's side. Must have been in the early 1900s, maybe. They will have come over to America. Pretty sure, you know, they're related to my being my great granddad, their siblings. And quite a long time ago, actually, about 20 years ago, when just the internet was really just opening up kind of thing. And I did a search. There wasn't an ancestry then. And I found, I was really I'm still into photography, but I found Mike Aliolo, I think he's in New York, and he's like a well-known photographer.
Wait, you said Michael York?
Aliolo.
Oh, okay. I couldn't quite hear what you said. Aliolo?
I know, my surname's, I hate saying it because no one can say it or understand it. So I bet there's a lot of people from Prussia.
Sorry.
I don't know, my mum was born in Belarus, but if you look on that DNA thing, only 1% was from Belarus. So who knows? It's a big mix, isn't it?
Well, so Prussia is, again, historic. The problem is we have modern names for. We're trying to put modern regions, over people groups that weren't really constrained by that. Because Prussia used to be a lot of you would involve Poland and the Baltics and more of those Eastern European regions. Sort of the idea, sort of that concept. But no, your point is right. In fact, Thomas Sowell, I forget which book he wrote it in, but one of the observations he made was that the cultures that stayed isolated every culture, regardless of where you were in the world, the the more primitive the culture, the more isolated it was. Being in contact with other cultures actually is the thing that sort of pushes people to advance, to grow. But the more, because stop and think about those towns that are most isolated are the ones that are the most poor. They tend to be the most backwards, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a human thing. It doesn't matter where you go, whether you're in Asia or South America or North America or Europe. The more isolated the area, the more likely it is to be primitive, to not have really advanced in many ways, and to be very isolationist. So, I mean, I think that's the bigger message here is we're all one species. We need each other to make ourselves better, to grow, to learn more, and we should be able to do so peacefully and not, be the jerks about it we tend to be.
Exactly. I do believe we should be helping each other, and I'm hoping I'm going to get a bit of help tonight. As I was saying earlier, I've been doing a bit of outdoor cooking, and I listen to you guys all the time when you talk about your barbecues and your marinades and stuff like that. But I've had a barbecue. It's a gas barbecue in a box for 10 years. My dad bought it me, and it's been in the garage. Never ever got it out. Could barely move it. It was so heavy. But I decided I need to get it out. Well, what it is, I had a couple of those disposable barbecue set, little box, and just last week I just did a steak and some like peppers on it, and I thought, oh, quite like these.
Nice.
Outside, yeah. So anyway, I managed to drag this box out of the garage because I wanted to clear the garage out because it's just a spider's haven. It's just full of. Anyway, so been doing that. I managed to pull this thing out. So I managed to get it up together. My friend popped around and helped me. It's like a kitchen, outdoor kitchen. It's so big with the side bits and all that. I mean, it's massive. And I've took all the components out, all the gas things out at the bottom because I just wanted to have charcoal in it. So I've set it up and I've been like cooking on it the last couple of nights, but I'm a little bit not got much imagination on what to do with like seasonings and stuff like that because I thought I'd done all right, a bit of garlic and rosemary and olive oil and just I want a bit more, but I want a few recommendations, a few recipes, what people put on there because I did sweet potato. I wanted to make a few slices of sweet potato, which it did, but they were a little bit tasteless.
Okay, so let's back up real quick because there's a couple of questions we need to get just absolutely squared away.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, so so it is a gas grill, but you have it set up for charcoal. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing: there is this big debate in the grilling world as to whether or not charcoal is better than gas. But
Too late. I've done it all.
I understand. So I understand. That's what I'm saying is.
I knew this would happen.
You poked the bear. So here's the deal. No, it's fine. I'm a charcoal guy. So we're good. Now, what I was going to say though is that the thing about gas is that it's more precise. It allows you to be very, very precise. You can get to temperature faster. You can maintain your temperature easier because charcoal requires a lot of attention, right? To maintain your sort of thing. So the question that I have is are we just trying to grill out burgers here? We're trying to do steaks. We're trying to do everything.
We're trying to
smoke. Okay.
Because I want to do everything because what I realized is how clean the kitchen is because I've been cooking outside and this is this is the new way to go. This is it. This is the way forward is to just cook outside all the time now. So I want to do lots of different things on it and I want to do the smoking thing if I can. It's got like a lid on it, so I'm guessing I can do a bit of smoking, whatever that is. Well, I know what it is, but I don't have the proper thing, and I don't know how I'd do like a cold smoke. But I mean, that's I need to just start on the kind of beginning, don't I?
Yeah, it
But
is it's a complicated procedure. But the thing about smoking is you want to do low and slow. So like you don't really want to get above 280 degrees on a smoke, and you want to leave it there for, I mean, a good long time, like 6 hours. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll actually do it a little bit hotter, but they'll run the smoke and they'll sear it for like an hour. Like they'll flip it at 30 minutes one side, 30 minutes the other side. Then they'll take the steak and they will move it inside, cover it with some aluminium for you Brits, and they'll slow cook that in the oven for like another 6 hours to finish it off, right at like 200 degrees. But so again, that's one way of doing it. But it sounds like you want to do a more traditional sort of grilling rather than say smoking. That's more of a
yeah. I mean, I'd be hungry by that point. 6-7 hours. It's too long. That might be what I'd do on the side. But yeah, I'd like to do some like ribs or I don't know. What do you suggest?
Well, okay. So I'm again Texan. So for us, we do brisket. There's no point in doing anything other than brisket. But if you don't get me wrong, we'll do steaks, we'll do chicken, just about everything. But again, brisket, that's a low, slow sort of smoked process. That's really what that's about. But steaks, okay, so you got your basic marinades, you got your salt, your pepper, garlic, pretty standard stuff. Now, if you want to do cheap meats that are sliced, and then you do like a sauce, like your wet sauces, that's always good. Now, I don't know what you have access to, so I don't know if you're looking to maybe make your own sauce or if you're looking to buy. So again, barbecue sauce is a lot of that depends on what you like. Like I like some spice. I want some heat, and smokiness with mine. So, like I said, a lot of this, like we have a stuff here that you can get called Sweet Baby Ray's. It's really good. That's like, it's the only stuff I've ever had that's better is handmade by some friends of mine, a couple hours from my house. And it's hot and it is spicy. And they've spent years perfecting it. And they will not give me the recipe. And I don't blame them. It's good. So a lot of it's going to depend. Like, do you want more honey? Do you want sweet? Do you like sweetness, or do you want more? Like, do you want to go with more of a vinegar base? I mean, there's a lot of variance here.
I think I like honey, sweet, rather than the vinegary. I think I just want a few ideas to try. Definitely not any ideas Andy Gone Fishing is suggesting. We don't hurt squirrels here.
Wait, you don't have squirrels in
we do have them, but we don't put them on barbecues.
Well, who's being closed-minded now?
Well, look, people might. I know someone who found a dead one in the park who knows it was like recently dead and cooked it. He said he quite liked it. But just,
I never eat carrion. That if you kill it, you kill it. But if it's found dead, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny though. I was watching. I was with my son, and we had. I guess we got that Disney Plus thing, and they had he's the British chef. He's got the frosted tips. He's been around forever.
Gordon Ramsay.
That's him. Gordon Ramsay. He's got this show where he's going around the world trying some of these more exotic places. And one of the places was in Peru. My mother's mother comes from. No, let me try it again. My wife's mother comes from Peru, and so it's very near where even my wife's mother grew up. And they were eating. I want to call them prairie dogs, but that's not what they are. Guinea pigs. They had the guinea pigs on a spit because that's what they eat in Peru because there's just no.
I've just been talking about that last night.
Animals, yeah.
Guinea pigs, it's just not right, is it? I mean, well, I don't know.
What else are they going to eat? I mean, it's the Peruvian altiplano. Like, there just isn't a lot there. So, and that's what they eat. He said it actually tastes like suckling pig. It was really, really good.
Can't be that much meat on a guinea pig.
Well, I can't imagine there'd be much meat on that, but they're very small people. But again, like prairie dogs, people used to eat those.
Right.
It just depends on where you are. And again, we have we sort of have a very closed mind on that because we're successful, and so we've been able to sort of eat off of the most prosperous aspects instead of saying, well, we haven't had to necessarily eat those things that are considered peasant foods. Like, for example, pig's foot, right? Like you can find them all over the place in the South. Pickled pig's foot. I can't stand it, but my dad used to love it. But that's peasant food, right? It's the stuff you couldn't sell, right? And so it was something you'd eat. We don't eat liver or kidney anymore, right?
No. What's the other stuff? Oh, sorry, my dog's trying to dig a hole. Thing.
What's funny here though, while he was trying to get the prairie dog, he called it a lasso.
A lasso.
A lasso.
A lasso.
Of course, I've been saying that all day. Lasso.
Lasso. Patrick Noble. Hi, Patrick. We don't buy. There's no horse meat in England. Not legally.
I thought that was allowed. Did that not get changed?
He's never been. We've never had horse meat.
I remember seeing there was hold on. I remember there was a thing where they were trying. Well, maybe they were trying to get it promoted. I'm gonna look that up because I thought that they were trying to make that a thing.
Definitely in Italy. I had it a long time ago. I was young. I probably wouldn't eat it again. I think it was very tough, if I remember at the time. Yeah, I was young. And what else have I had? Donkey in Venice. My auntie in Venice. That's a traditional donkey stew. I have to say, I mean, it was really like gristly. The meat was really, really good.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I would have expected the horse to be better than the donkey, but I guess that does make sense to a point.
The horse meat was like just a steak, thin steak.
Yeah.
Whereas the stew had been cooking a long time, and it was the meat wasn't kind of tough, but nice tough. If that makes sense. Like there's texture to it. It was tender, but there was a lot of texture, and the taste was. I liked it. Beef tongue tacos are good.
Lingua, yes, they are.
I like a bit of, I'm not going to say it.
No, please finish that sentence. But you're right. No, you're right.
I like beef tacos. Dog food. Yeah, I think they put horse meat in dog food.
So, as far as human consumption is concerned, you're right. It is not legal in Britain. It is legal, however, in Mexico, Belgium, Canada, Chile, Spain, Iceland, France, Russia, Kazakhstan, and most Eastern European, South American, and Southeast Asian countries. Apparently, it's also legal in Japan. So there you go.
Everywhere apart from the UK.
Yeah, basically, Americans and Brits just are not down with the horse meat.
Well, I think it's a good thing as well. I just, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things, isn't it? We just different perception of animals. But over here, horses are to be, you ride horses, and it's not. We don't look at them as
food.
So just like, we don't look at dogs as food. But in some countries, they're eating dogs. So it's just that.
That's true.
Yeah. She's saying it's terrible. She hates hearing about dogs being eaten. So, they do, Derek. I'm trying to think. It's probably like China, isn't it? Somewhere over there.
Most Asian nations, it's considered acceptable, although that's changing. That's actually been sort of a thing, a push that's not been acceptable. Again, offhand, I can say from experience, certain areas down around South Texas border towns and certain parts of Mexico, dog meat is considered perfectly acceptable. Not officially, but you can. At least let me rephrase this. Prior to 2000, it was a lot easier to find a dog taco back then than probably it is now. A lot of so a lot of this comes down to just, it's prosperity. It's we've been so in the West, we're spoiled by prosperity. We talk. What's funny is we talk about things like, well, tradition, and I'm like, hold on, most of your traditions date from like World War II up. Like that's almost where our history starts in a lot of ways in the West, because there was such a big change, power, sociopolitically, economically, trade wise. So we've just sort of been spoiled by the types of food that we can get access to. We look. It's easy to look down on people who are having to eat guinea pigs, but it's like that's what there is to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's like you live in the Bolivian altiplano or the Peruvian altiplano. I'm sorry, there's just things don't grow there, right? You got cactus, you got some herbs. It's just not where they just don't have, because the air is so thin. You go to certain parts of Mexico, Western America. It's like there's just nothing grows there, so you're going to have to eat what's available. That's rattlesnake. That's dog. That's birds that we would consider non. Yeah, it's.
I watched a video in Vietnam where they were cooking rats, and they were enjoying them. They had them in like a batter, a bit like Kentucky Fried Rat kind of thing going on. But it didn't seem like there was a lot of meat on them.
I can't imagine that there is. Yeah.
No, but there's something about eating slowly and then chewing around things. You just become fuller just with the thought of it, I guess. Teddy, you've eaten a peacock. How did that taste? Is that just
I've heard they're actually really good.
A turkey? Now, Andy, I just watched something the other day where they did the corn on the cob like that, but they put tequila on it, and apparently it tastes amazing. Not a lot, just like a hint of tequila.
Yes. No, corn. Yeah, you can do a lot of things with corn on the cob. By the way, hold on. Andy, anything tastes good wrapped in bacon. Saying rattlesnake tastes good wrapped in bacon and grilled is...
Yeah.
You wrap something in bacon and you put it on the grill. It will taste amazing. It can be the most trash thing in the universe. It's still going to be amazing because it's wrapped in bacon. But that being said, yes, rattlesnake is actually really good. I've had it.
What does it taste like?
It's hard to describe. Okay. It's so like, it's weird. Alligator tastes like chicken, and it's sort of like, I don't know. I think it's been a while since I've had it, but rattlesnake sort of reminded me of like I don't know, maybe a tougher, more gamey chicken, or it's weird. It's hard to describe. It doesn't taste like anything.
What's the texture of alligator then? Like steak? Are you cutting it up like a steak, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the ones I've had have been. It can be tough, so it's been cut up and then cooked that way. It's it's a little bit tougher, but it's like anything. It's how it's cooked, right? Yeah. It's how you cook it that really changes the texture. A lot of things like duck.
Is it like
considered dry?
Yeah. Here you go. Like not that. Oh, it's a sweet flavor, is it? The peacock. Like swordfish and tuna is like a steak, isn't it? But slightly different. Is that maybe alligator? It's not quite meat, but a bit fishy meat.
No. It's not fishy at all. It's again, it does taste almost like you would never sit there and say, okay, this tastes like chicken. It's not chicken, but chicken is the closest thing I can bring it to. It has a different texture. I have heard of the white elephant, by the way, and that's on my list. I just haven't gone in a while. Again, it's like chicken, but different. That's the best way I can describe it. That's most reptiles, from what I understand. I've never had turtle.
Susan's never going to eat anything ever again, just because of tonight's chat. Probably is a good.
So Andy's pointing out that it tastes like pork. Well, again, alligator can taste like pork, but again, a lot of it's how you prepare it more than anything else. Because like I wouldn't necessarily. It's like a white meat, so that's true. But I've had pork that tasted very, very different. So a lot of this is how you cook these things. But again, they're good. I like them. I think we need to be more adventurous with what we eat.
Yeah, definitely.
I still, and I will do it one of these days. I want to order chocolate covered grasshoppers.
Okay.
I've always wanted to eat one.
I don't think there's going to be much flavor to them anyway. I mean, what is there to them? Absolutely nothing. I did. I was looking before at in unusual recipes. I've actually discovered what is it? Rocky Mountain meatballs are now.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
That's it. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Uh-huh.
I have discovered what they are now. A terrio roa. I've probably not said it right. It tastes like chicken as long as it doesn't smell like fish. Ain't that right, guys? Guess you don't want to smell meat and fish at the same time, do you?
No. Although I have to admit, I do want to. I want to try manatee because it's a sea cow, so it's like surf and turf at the same time.
Mm. You want to come back as a manatee, though, don't you?
I do. I do. I'm basically a manatee now.
Oh. Okay.
But think about it, you swim all the time. You just get to swim and eat all day. Like that's the best life ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just swimming. There was a guy recently who was swallowed. Swallowed by a blue whale, big whale.
I just saw that. Yeah. They spat him out. Yeah, I saw that. I was going to double check for it because it was just on my page a few minutes ago. That's got to be wild.
God, yeah, he was spat out literally. It came up, and that must have been incredible. We'll have to get him on. See what it's like to be in the mouth of a whale. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah. Well, he could probably fill us in on a little bit of details on some biblical stories, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that being said, so back to your bigger point here is how, what are some things to cook? Again, corn on the cob, always done well grilled. Again, for us, speaking as a Texan, that lime juice is great, but butter, paprika, salt, that's the way to go.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try some things out this week.
Teddy, that tells us more about you than does anything else.
What's that? Teddy.
Boring.
Oh, he eats mountain oysters. Well.
Yep.
I mean, there must be something. We have something over here for dogs. They call it, it's like they call it a pizzle stick. And it's a long, chewy thing. Dogs love it. And I didn't know what it was for a long time. But I do now. Yeah, they're long, aren't they? Interesting, but things we don't get to talk about all the time. Oh, Meredith, yes, I've been doing that, but I did mine with I actually got creme fraiche instead of the sour cream because it's just a nice bit more. Oh, you don't do creme fraiche, do you, over there?
Well, what's the difference between creme fraiche and sour cream?
I'm not sure. It's a different name. It must be something different. Is creme fraiche not a bit? I've got some in front of me right now because I've been dipping some crisps into it. I think it's more cheesy.
Maybe. So I think she was talking about specifically like because we have sour cream and onion chips. Like it's just the chip, so it's not even a dip specifically. It's.
Oh, I didn't read all that. I thought you were putting chips in sour cream, but I actually. Well,
I will do that. Absolutely, I love that. Now again, but I use tortilla chips for that.
Yeah, I got these because they were on offer, and it's the Thai sweet chili sensations.
Oh, are they good?
They're nice when you dip them in the creme fraiche. Yeah.
There you go.
I like them. So, yeah. Teddy was raised in the desert, so you've been eating scorpion, stuff like that? I mean, people do eat them, don't they?
Oh, in China, it's you can buy them at McDonald's.
Right.
They have them. Yeah, it's considered a common delicacy. So my only question about that is like, all the pictures I've always seen had the stingers on them. I'm like, how do you eat the scorpions if they still have the stingers on them? That's what I don't get.
I think when they're dead, does it matter? Can they still sting you when you're dead?
Well, I know when you kill a rattlesnake, you still have to leave you want to avoid the head because they can still bite you and kill you for like a while. And the venom is still there.
Same with a bee or a wasp, isn't it? It can still keep going and sting you. So Yeah, eels. Never even tried them. Jellied eels they have over here.
No.
And rolled herrings in vinegar. I think they call it roll mops.
I don't like anything that's been pickled. This is so my sister and my daughter love pickles beyond all things. I hate anything that's ever been pickled. Like I can't do it. Not at all. And I love like octopus, squid. I love all that stuff. But when it's like, well, we have this pickle, like, nope, I'm out. I don't care what it is. If it's pickled, I'm out. Although I love salt and vinegar chips. Like I love vinegar, but I don't like things that have been like pickled in it. I'm just out.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I like some pickles. So you don't like your gherkin on your burger? No.
I don't like tomatoes either, but I love what you can turn tomatoes into.
Yeah. I'm a bit weird with tomatoes. They're very rich, and this sounds weird, but I like them. I can eat them sliced, but not quartered. So
okay, I get you.
I feel like I'm taking too much on when they're quartered. I know that sounds weird, but
no, I get it.
But look, guys, we're going to finish a little bit early tonight because I'm going to be over on Bigfoot Odyssey at 7 p.m. To some of you, Central. It'll be 1 o'clock to me. It'll be 8 o'clock to someone in New York. It's just, I say these times now, and what do they mean? But
it's all 5 o'clock somewhere.
In about 15 minutes is probably the best way I could say it. So we are going to finish a little bit early, but just wanted to thank you for all the suggestions. I'm going to try something, and I might do a little video of my outdoor cooking. I'm quite excited about it. I just like the whole al fresco thing. There's a lot to be said about it. So I won't be able to try any of the sort of alligator or horse and stuff like that, but I'll definitely try some of the other stuff. I love pickled beets as well. I really do. You can get sweet pickle. I think sometimes that's the thing with pickles, isn't it? When they're the sour one, it don't like it. But anyway, thank you, Jason.
No, I appreciate you, Danielle. And let me say, I haven't really had a chance to say it yet because it's sort of on this side of the surgery now. I just want to say thank you. I know a lot of people have been praying for my son, and it is shown. Like, don't get me wrong, my kid's a strong kid, but it's a major surgery. And he's come through with flying colors. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's sent their thoughts and prayers, and it is definitely it definitely shows. It definitely shows. But I'm glad to be back on the show with you, Danielle. It's been too long. I've been missing you. We're reunited again, and it feels so good.
It does. It feels amazing. So we can only go onwards and upwards from here. And as far as your son and you guys, it's a lot. It's a lot of stress and worry, And I'm glad you felt support from the community because I know they've all been behind you, thinking about you, and I have as well. So it's great news he's out of hospital and back home. So we will see how his progression is going in the weeks to come. But until the next time, everyone, well, in about 12 minutes, come over to Bigfoot Odyssey and come and see us over there. Jason, what have you got on this week? You're back on track, are you, with your shows?
Yeah, we're back on track for the shows. We got Monday we got the normal stuff on Texas Front Porch. And I think we're finally going to get into on the Bible study. We're getting into the Table of Nations in Genesis, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's
nothing like genealogies on Thursday. Nothing like genealogies to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, well, Jason's link is in the description. Go and check him out. Not the Bible study, and until the next time, guys. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Anyway, all right, everyone. Good night.